To the Grubhub, DoorDash, or any other food delivery employees, what is the strangest scenario you have had with an order? I worked for a delivery company about 6 years ago. I got an order for a single cigar. Total cost of goods about $3. Delivery fee $13.50. He lived way the hell out in the boonies. He also tipped my like $10. Turns out he was drunk and delivery fee is less than a DUI. The delivery instructions were to beat on the door like you're the cops, and then roar like a T-Rex to scare my kids. I did this, but a small extremely confused lady answered the door. Apparently the husband had written those instructions for a prior delivery and had not realized delivery instructions copy over to the next delivery if not deleted. Oh god, I just probably gave a delivery driver a story of their own tonight when they called me to clarify directions. Their number was the same area code as a spam call I got the other day that I answered and actually had a human on it and not a robot, so I assumed it was them again and I answered the call and just said meow instead of hi. Then they asked for me by name, like the last spam call did, and I just kept saying meow meow every time he asked me something until he was like, ma'am, this is your Postmates driver, and then I died from embarrassment. My boyfriend and I used to do grocery delivery. One time I had a woman order 33 oranges. Another time, he had someone order 24 jars of vanilla frosting. The store didn't even have enough vanilla frosting in stock to complete the order. Then 1 week later, we saw that the same man placed another order for 20 more jars of vanilla frosting. Drop-off instructions said text me when you arrive, and come to the side of the house. I broke my leg and I can't come downstairs, but he'll lower backpack down to you on a rope. Your tip is in the loop on the back. Thanks. I thought it was a setup, but turned out to be legit. I thought it was amusing. http://imker.com/gallery/usks. I drive for Uber Eats and one time someone ordered Freshie, a healthy food/vegan place, and I saw that the order was 8 small bags of chips, not even anything off their menu, just 8 bags of chips. Then while I was on my way to deliver it they messaged me twice in the app. The first time they said please and the second message was be careful. To this day I have no idea what was going on, or why they didn't go buy chips from the convenience store near their house. Many years ago I was a driver for Pizza Hut. We had someone place an order. Their home address was saved to our system, but in the notes it said to deliver it to a hotel literally down the road from said home address. So I go to the hotel, knock on the door, and a dude answers in his boxers with a girl in bed peeking around to see who was at the door. 99% sure I walked into an affair encounter. One time during the early days of the pandemic I got an order for like a ton of barbecue ribs from some newly opened restaurant in Atlanta. I got all this food, drove out to some random upscale Hilton hotel off the beaten path. After a ton of back and forth with the concierge he finally directed me to the correct room. I finally reach it only to be met at the door by 2 naked folks and another 2 more waiting on the bed in the hotel room. I'm not saying those barbecue ribs were gonna be used in that orgy I interrupted, but I can't definitively say there wasn't a connection. I used to deliver pizzas, and one time I arrived at a house at the same time as a driver from another pizza place. We looked at each other confused for a second before we went to the door. Turns out they had some people over and one of the people there really liked one restaurant over the other, so much so that they ordered a separate pizza. I picked up 26 chocolate chip cookies from McDonald's. The manager was pissed. I was delivering to a couple 2 pizzas, and they were arguing like crazy, throwing shit crazy. As per COVID rules for my job, I stepped back and watched the man grab the pizza and drop a rather large wad of cash on the pizza bag. He shut the door pretty quick, and while I grabbed the bag and the cash, a plate crashed on the door with the lady screaming, "That's the kinda shit I'm talking about." Bro, I ran. I got sent to KFC to pick up a DoorDash order and the restaurant just wasn't open. No lights, no cars, nothing. I had to call the poor soul who ordered it and tell him that he wasn't getting any KFC tonight. Once I picked up an order from a Graziano's and they had no idea what Grubhub was or that they were on the app. Had to call the horrible customer service and deal with them for like an hour before the restaurant believed it was real. Then they gave me the wrong food. Only did that for a year before I realized how completely disorganized and unprofessional of a company Grubhub is, at least in my area. A grown man who insisted that I refer to him as Snow White. He tipped pretty good though. I take the money and say thanks Snow White and get back in my car. The weirdest thing that happened to my friend who works DoorDash was yesterday. He delivered to a guy with a first name that sounded like Roger, so he pulled up, told the guy his name sounded like a battle droid from Star Wars. The dude laughed, then they spent like 10 minutes talking about Revenge of the Sith. I used to deliver for Dominos and was delivering during a night with freezing rain, so it was very slick. I get to this one house with a steep driveway with no way I could drive up. I tried multiple ways to walk up the driveway and even on the grass, but would only make it a few feet. So I call the customer and explain the issue, and they come out with a rope and I tie the pizza bag to it. So they pull it up the driveway, take the pizza and put the cash in the bag with a nice tip. Delivered to a family and they were all happy and tipped me $10. I get back to the store only to find out they demanded 2 new pizzas, a refund and my tip back. Why do you ask? There was a chunk of Canadian bacon on their pizza and they were Muslim. I didn't make the pizza yet, I got the biggest burn. Already a pizza on the porch. I was delivering Cold Stone. It was a Sunday at 2 p.m. The guy opened the door. The essence of weed hit me strong. His eyes bloodshot. Classic rock on the radio. Guy in a plush robe. A girl dancing in the middle of the room. He said thank you. I picked up the pizza for him. He giggled. And I turned around laughing. Man was high on life and I was jealous of him in that moment. I saw a woman give birth. I was delivering for a pizza place at the time, and we delivered to a large children's hospital about a mile from the store. I pulled up to where we normally delivered, the valet loop, and a blue F-150 comes flying in. As I'm walking away, the driver jumps out of the truck screaming that his wife is giving birth, and out of the passenger side I can see plain as day a fume of dilation staring me dead in the eye. My cousin delivers pizza. One time she delivered to a hotel room and a naked woman answered. She asked my cousin to wait a minute and then her dude, also naked, came to the door with money for the pizza but offered more money to my cousin to eat out his girlfriend. She declined. I delivered pizza in my small rural southern town back in 2000. One of the girls I went to high school with ordered in the afternoon. She knew I was working and had to have known we only had one driver in the afternoons. When I showed up, she was in cheap lingerie, had candles lit, and was wearing some dollar store perfume. She kept trying to get me to come in, and I refused. After several minutes of failed flirting, she finally paid and I was on my way. She seemed pissed that I turned her down. It wasn't unusual to get tipped with alcohol or hits off a bull, but that was the trashiest experience I had. I once delivered to a house and the guy ordered some Russian dish called pelmeni. He comes to the door, wearing a ski mask, decked out in full Adidas, a speaker blasting hard bass strapped to his back, a toy AK-47, and vodka. I laughed so hard. Sorted delivery. I dropped off porta potties for a while. I pulled up to some farmhouse out in the middle of nowhere. It was early morning and still dark. I knocked on the door in the unlit entryway and a chubby little toddler answered the door rubbing his eyes. I said, "Hey little fella, can you get your dad?" He responded in a grown-ass man voice, "I'm a fucking midget jackass. Gimme the damned bill and drop off the shitters." Gave a drunk sorority girl her food and just as I got back to my car she runs out towards me and says, "Wait, do you want to make me squirt?" It's not that crazy, but I recently picked up door dashing on the side for some extra cash monies. I work in a restaurant full-time, and my very first customer answered the door with 3 lit cigarettes and a cell phone on speaker in one hand, having some full-blown convo about some DK she just got, and in the other hand was the phone that I had called to tell her that her food was there. She was also like 70, or appeared to be. I was pretty impressed. She was living it up for sure. She was also mad nice and we just had a normal interaction as if she wasn't ripping 3 butts at once and I hadn't just heard her talking about some big nice DK. My very first pizza delivery, many moons ago, I was greeted by an extremely sexy woman who was working out in a black leotard. She told me to come on in and set it on the table while she got her purse. I went in and thought, holy hell, this is my dear Penthouse moment. Then she just paid for the pizza. I left with a bit of confusion and disappointment. I had seen the movie Loverboy after all. Again, this was my first delivery, so I didn't know it was against policy to enter the home, but I was 19 and I would have quit on the spot if it were to go the Penthouse route. Ooh. I remembered another one. Took an order to a nice house in a decent neighborhood, sometime after 10 p.m. or so. Front door was open but storm door was closed. As I approached the house I see what looks like a very nice ass, up in the air above a couch. Then I realized that there's a hand rubbing it. Walked right up on a dude getting a BJ from his wife. I knocked on the door and stepped off to the side so I wasn't staring at them. Guy asks me how my night is going. Not as good as yours, I replied. Dude hollers back into the house, "See, I told you he saw." My sister-in-law once ordered a medium Diet Coke from McDonald's. Paid $3 for delivery on a $1 drink. The McDonald's was a 2-minute walk from her apartment. She's just lazy and entitled. I deliver for DoorDash. I had an order recently where they asked me to knock specifically 6 times. Maybe not as weird as the others here, but was just odd enough to remember. One time I was delivering food to a guy's house who was having a b-day party for his kid, He made me wait outside their house for like 15 minutes because I got there too early and he refused to open the door. I got complained at, and no tip lol. I once had the person I was delivering to meet me in the restaurant's parking lot. This was the very early stages of COVID, so indoor dining was banned and it was also a very popular restaurant, so the line was long as shit. I made $13 off a really easy delivery, so I'm not complaining.